Hello guys and welcome back to TierSpec TV. It is finally time to get the ball rolling in regards to my Defender 90 rebuild. We have a stack of galvanized Defender chassis right here, two for a 90 and one for a 110 down below. And if you're wondering why we're not stockpiling them, we just did a bulk order with some friends and family that also wanted Defender chassis. But one of them, of course, is for my Defender, one of the 90 ones. And what we're going to be doing today is transporting this up to my house where my Defender is, so that I can begin painting it and then slowly start to peel things off of my Defender and adding them to this chassis instead. They all came from Richard's Chassis in the UK, which you can tell because they have RC stenciled on them over here by the cross member. And we've also got bulkheads, which we ordered from the same place, though I think they're produced by, is it DDS Metals? I think they're called, something like that. I think they produce them for Richard's Chassis. So we've got those over there as well. They're going to be staying there for now though, because of course that needs to be painted body color, unlike the chassis, which we're going to be painting black. So the bulkhead will be done professionally, but the chassis we can do ourselves up at my place. And like I said, start assembling it from there. So we've got a loader off to the side here, which we're going to use now to lift this off of this stack right here and get it up to my place, and then maybe we can have a little look at what parts I've got so far for my Defender and what the plan is for actually getting this project really started. So, slight change of plan, because we were originally just going to try and put the chassis on the forks of the loader and carry it up that way, but we decided that it's probably not the safest way to do this. So we just picked out a trailer and happened to find one that seems to fit this chassis absolutely perfectly. There's basically almost nothing on either side of this, but it fits in here really, really nicely. So it's time to take the chassis up now and bring the loader, of course, so we can get it back out. Let's go. Chassis is finally home. It may seem like we're making slow progress with this since I originally announced that I was ordering a new chassis for my Defender, but believe me, this is a huge step in the right direction for this, because now that it's here, we can actually start doing things on it. My Defender is right down there, and all we need to do, that makes it sound very simple. The next thing we need to do is get this painted. So I think what we're going to be using is some Hammerite Special Metals primer, which you can use on galvanized finishes like this, and then on top of that we can do some black Hammerite paint. I did post a video on various channels about when the chassis arrived, kind of announcing that, and a lot of people were confused about the idea of painting it. I think some people do just, you know, slap things right onto this, which you can do, it is galvanized, but painting it adds just another layer of protection, and also I think it looks a bit better because of course it's a Defender, so the chassis is exposed. Like, you see the cross member, that is basically the rear bumper, and other parts of it as well. So we want to have a nice black finish to all of this, as well as adding the extra bit of protection. It was also quite fun to use the Jimny to get this up here. First time I've ever done any towing with it, and it did perfectly fine, and also kind of fun to use the car that I bought as a substitute for the Defender while this rebuild is happening to actually tow the new lifeline of the Defender up here. Something quite special about that in a way. We've also got the bolt kit over here as well in this rather suspicious looking bag. So don't know exactly which bolts are in that for what bits, but yeah, we'll figure that out as we go. And we can show some of the bits that I've already bought for this rebuild over here. This isn't everything, I've got more bits stored away, but this is some of the more interesting parts right now, or just some of the bits that are going to be used more immediately to get onto the chassis. I've got other components, like I said, stored away, like engine servicing bits and other stuff. But here's some of the first things that I have ordered. So we've got, for example, full bush kit right here from Super Pro bushes, which I ordered from Paddocks, but I think it is also the recommended bushes of Gwyn Lewis, who we're big fans of course. We've got the bump stops here. We've got galvanized turrets and these mounting rings for suspension. Fox shocks. So this was something I discussed in the video where I went through all of the parts that I was considering buying for the Defender, the full parts list. And I spoke about how I was considering kind of going two directions with the suspension. So either going with Older Man Emu, which is a sort of very reliable, durable setup, but sort of not much different from a standard suspension setup for a Defender, or going to the other end of the scale and going to something a bit more pricey, but maybe a bit more sort of transformative in terms of the ride quality and handling of the Defender with the Fox shock kit, which I've heard very good things about and is the kind of recommended kit or supplied kit, one of the supplied kits from Alive Tuning, who definitely know what they're doing when it comes to handling for Defenders. And in the end, I did go for that because I just thought that's a bit more exciting. And I am very excited to get that on. And I am going to talk a lot about suspension because the suspension on that Defender is completely knackered because one of the front turrets collapsed from rust. So when I've been driving it in the last few months, it kind of bounces around and makes horrible noises because, like I said, suspension is basically collapsed. So having, new suspension, regardless of whether it's something more advanced or not, is just kind of exciting, as weird as that sounds. But yeah, really excited to try that and see how it affects the handling and ride quality of the Defender. And to go along with that, I also went with the Fox steering damper. Again, I could have gone for something more simple, like an Old Man Emu, but I thought, and that's just the kind of person I am, that if I'm going for the Fox shocks, then I also want to have the full kit, if you like, may as well. Here we've got these are just some rubber boots for the shocks, just to help stop getting mud and stuff into those. So that's all that they are. And these galvanized parts were also from Alive Tuning. So these are heavy duty galvanized shock turrets, as well as the rings, as I said, and that's all galvanized with stainless fittings. Over here we've got this A-frame ball joint, again another thing that desperately needs sorting out on the Defender in its current state. I mean, everything does, but I'm just pointing that out as one thing. And then other little random bits like light guards, which it may seem odd that I've ordered those now, but because it would literally be one of the last things that you put onto it. But I saw them, and when you just add to basket and say screw it, let's go with it. And funny story, so like I said, this is kind of Alive Tuning stuff here, as well as this. There's a exhaust manifold stud kit and a performance air filter. I got that along with when I did the Alive Tuning order. And then this corner here is sort of from an order I did with Paddocks. And I've ordered a lot of stuff from Paddocks. They've been great. And when I did that Paddocks order, I originally just wanted to order these, which are some door latches, because I was going to replace them, because even though the Defender is going to be torn apart in the not too distant future, I've still been sort of using it occasionally, or like for filming or just moving it around, and the driver's door does not shut at the moment. It's just I guess worn to a point where it just doesn't latch anymore. So I ordered these new strikers to replace them, and in the same order I was like, well, I may as well get these and these and these and these, and of course you end up with £500 in your basket of various bits, because I knew I had to order these things anyway. So that order went from this, which is, I don't know, a £20 part or something, to like everything in this corner of the table right here. But such is the way with Land Rover life. I've also forgotten, down here on the floor, we've also got the springs, again, from Alive Tuning to go along with the shocks. So they do recommend with the Fox shocks. Am I saying that right? Fox shocks, that's a weird thing to say quickly. They do recommend their comfort spring setup to go along with the Fox shocks. Apparently a very good combo, so that's what I've gone for. And these are standard height. You can get these in a lowered height as well. I have no interest in lowering my Defender. So these are the standard height comfort springs, but again, should really help handling and comfort of the Defender. And I think these are, I think they're from Bilstein. I think they're produced by Bilstein for Alive. So yeah, German high quality stuff, which we like. So let's do something like ceremoniously here and like just place a piece on the chassis, just because it's satisfying. We can. That's the wrong way around. there we go. It's not bolted, but something about that feels really nice. Yeah. It's all going to come together soon. But like I said, painting first, and the weather forecast for the coming week looks promising, looks very hot and sunny, which is good because then we can start painting it in the next week, and then it will dry nicely. Like right now it's wet and windy and cold, which is not the climate you want to be doing painting in. But yeah, next 7 days should be nice and sunny. We can stand outside and get the chassis painted, and then start putting bits on it, which is going to be so cool. So super excited about that. Yeah, not much more to say on this right now. I'm very, very excited. Like I said, this is a huge step in the right direction because we can actually start doing stuff now. So very, very excited for what's to come. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and we will see you in the next video.